Welcome, geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to a brand new episode of Geek to Me Radio. Tonight, we'll be speaking with Carl Lumley, who will be joining us at Two Rivers Comic-Con next weekend in historic St. Charles. We'll also talk to him about his new movie, The Life of Chuck. After that, three-time Eisner Award-winning artist Rick Burchett will join us on the show to talk about art, Comic-Cons, and more. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors for Hogwarts houses, one ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And if you're driving around the greater St. Louis area tonight, listening to us on the Big 550 KTRS, hello to all of you out there listening. If you're streaming us on the KTRS app or on the website, hello to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, hello to all of you out there. Thank you very much for watching tonight. And as always, if you're hearing us after the fact in the podcast form on whatever platform you get your podcasts, we appreciate you finding us there and subscribing. Hopefully you've left us a nice 5-star review by now. I always say to go to YouTube. We're closing in on the 10,000 subscriber mark, which seems impossible to believe. But if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button and then hit the little bell notification. That way you'll get notified every single time we go live, as we are tonight. Especially we have video because Joey V is in the studio with me running video. We're just waiting for Carl Lumley to join us. We've gotten, we thought we'd have him on right at the beginning. Stuff happens. Hopefully he's okay, but we've sent out word and hopefully he will be joining us shortly. We'll go to him as soon as we do. Be sure to get your tickets now. This is your last countdown chance to get tickets for Two Rivers Comic-Con. The ticket sales online shut down starting Thursday at noon. So you've got about 4 days left to grab your tickets online. And we just had a booth at Point Fest. It's a gorgeous day for Point Fest. My gosh, the weather was amazing. A little windy, but the temperature, it's probably been the nicest Point Fest I've been to since I've been going, and I'm really old. I actually went to the first Point Fest, so that shows you how many I've been going to. But the weather was perfect. I was right there across the stage. I got to hear Ludo and Alien Ant Farm and Tree 14. A couple other bands played too. It was just a lot of fun. The people are hanging out. Got to tell a lot of people about Two Rivers Comic-Con. And since we are partnering with 105.7 The Point, this is your last chance to use the promo code too, because obviously the promo code goes away when the website ordering goes away. So if you go to the number 2 riverscomiccon.com and click the Get Tickets link, if you put in the promo code POINT at checkout, you'll save $5 off of your ticket. If you're just getting a one-day ticket, if you just want to kind of come for one day and check it out, or if you really want to have some fun, come for all 3 days, then you can get your weekend pass as well. We still have tickets for our after-hours events. So if you're like, hey, the con's over, what else is there to do? Well, on Friday night, we have our special whiskey tasting with Andy Parks, artist and writer who's a big bourbon aficionado. So he's doing a whiskey tasting with us, hosted by Cardinal Sin Distillery in the 800 block of South Main Street. So you have tickets available for that on Friday night. There's a free after party at the Soda Museum and Main Street Arcade, hosted by our friend Tom Smith, who was just on the show a couple weeks ago with Phil Lamar. And it's a great facility there. That is on North Main. As long as you have your Two Rivers Comic-Con wristband on, you'll get in there for free. And then the rest of the weekend, if you decide to go back and check it out, it's just half price to get in there and play some arcade games and hang out. So it's a great deal for you there as well. Then on Saturday night, we have our special Conan the Barbarian screening. So Tenacious Eats, our friend Chef Liz, got us the licensing through Swank to show the movie. Two Plumbers as helping us out. They're showing the movie in their event space upstairs. If you've been to Two Plumbers, it's an incredible area, and they've got the event space upstairs where we'll be showing Conan the Barbarian. If that wasn't enough, you get an hour and a half of free gameplay on the arcades that are upstairs at Two Plumbers. And then Roy Thomas, who brought Conan over, started working on it when Marvel first got the licensing rights, co-creator of Red Sonja, all this stuff that he's done working on Conan for 20 plus years originally, and he still works on it here and there. He was listed as a consultant on that first film. So Roy Thomas is going to be doing a Q&A and a talk back with the film. So you're going to get all that plus a free Roy Thomas autograph on a regular standard item of your choice the day after if you come back and visit him on Sunday at the convention. So that is an additional ticketed item that you can get on the website as well. A lot of cool stuff going on with this. We've got the voice cast of the Justice League. I keep looking down because I think I'm keeping an eye on the phone for Carl. But we've got Carl, we've got Susan Eisenberg, we've got Phil Lamar, we've got Maria Canals-Barrera, we've got Dan Reba, who will be there. We've got Alan Burnett coming in, and that's just at the Foundry, which is we're dubbing the Hall of Justice. Then 2 doors down at the Steel Shop, that's where all the comic book writers and artists will be. So we've got Saturday, Sunday only, we have Mark Bagley, and we've got Roy Thomas. They'll be there those 2 days only. The rest of the days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have all of our other writers and artists and creators there, plus a show floor full of vendors for you to check out. So if you're looking for comic books, if you're looking for some rare items, if you're looking for toys, if you're looking for games, we're going to have tabletop masters there. They're going to be doing gameplay and demonstrations. We're going to have a cosplay contest on Saturday and Sunday. So that's all to say there's a lot happening at this convention, and it's this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in historic St. Charles. You can go to the website, the number 2riverscomiccon.com to get your tickets, check out the events, and see all the stuff that we're bringing you. I'm so excited because if this first year goes well, we've got big plans for years 2 and 3 going forward, and we're excited to bring all that to you too. So tell your friends, check it out, bring friends with you, and hopefully we'll see you in historic St. Charles at Two Rivers Comic Con coming up in just 5 more days. Get the tickets online before the promo code goes away, because you can get the tickets at the door, but Saturday's already fairly close to completely selling out. So if you want to get your tickets, get them online so you're not turned away at the door. We have a limited amount of tickets so we don't take up too much space and overcrowd either facility, but we recommend getting the tickets online because then you get to use the promo code as well. So it benefits everyone all around. Just waiting for Carl Lumley to join us. We've got calls in to several people to see if we can get a hold of him. Hopefully he's, like I said, hopefully he's okay. That's the main thing. But in the meantime, I can't believe that it was my 400th episode. This episode, Joey, this is episode 464, and it was on our 400th episode that we announced that we were doing this. So 65 weeks ago that we announced we were officially doing Two Rivers Comic Con.
I never was going to forget the date because you were kind enough to put it on my birthday. My birthday is May 25th, so I knew that this was the greatest gift I was going to receive also. So Thank you for that.
Well, it's the least I could do. I mean, after all the kindness you show me, why not? You know. But while we're waiting for Carl, we're going to have a little bit before Rick Burchett comes on with us as well. You and I were talking off air about the movies because I've been too busy. I've been trying to do all this stuff. You actually get to go see these movies that I'm missing out on, and I know you saw a couple of really good ones that I was excited about seeing this past week. Would you like to tell our listeners while we're waiting for Carl Lumley about the 2 movies that you got to see?
I would love to. There's one coming out this Thursday called Friendship, and it's basically the kickoff for summer blockbusters this Thursday. I mean, we've got Mission Impossible 8, which they changed the name to. It was supposed to be Dead Reckoning Part 2. They changed it to Final Reckoning. So Tom Cruise may be dead already from jumping out of an airplane. We don't know.
Gosh.
I think Ethan may not be with us anymore. We'll see. And then Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake, is coming out this Thursday as well. Huge things. And then this new movie, Friendship, it's almost like counter-programming. It's a very small indie comedy, but it's exactly what I love in a comedy. There's this guy at the center of it, Tim Robinson. If you are a Saturday Night Live fan, Tim Robinson was on, I don't know, like a decade ago for 1 season as a cast member. And then I don't know if he was too ugly or something. They relegated him to writer. He was a cast member who got sent back to the minor leagues as a writer for 2 more seasons. But he has gone on to create what I consider the funniest stuff in the world. Tim Robinson went on to do Detroiters for 3 seasons on Comedy
I don't think
Central.
I saw that either.
Oh, you would love it. It's about these guys in Detroit who make bad commercials on purpose, but they love what they do to help small businesses in Detroit. And then he went on to do the funniest sketch show that's ever existed, I Think You Should Leave. It is the epitome of cringe comedy. It's
That
on
I've heard
Netflix.
of.
I mean, that title right there is just boils it down. Whenever Tim Robinson enters a room, he makes everything awkward, and people think he should leave. So now he's got this movie out that has really distilled his humor down to 90 minutes of pure drama and comedy and darkness all together. So Tim Robinson, he is living with his wife and his kid in this house, and a package gets delivered to his home by mistake. And so he goes and returns it to the correct address, and he discovers Paul Rudd has moved in. Now, of course, not the real Paul Rudd. This guy who moved in, played by Paul Rudd, is the local weatherman. I mean, immediately he seems like the coolest guy that he's ever met. And then he finds out that Paul Rudd plays in a rock band also. So he kind of gets attached way too quick, and Paul Rudd decides to call off the friendship. Things are getting a little awkward, and Tim Robinson cannot handle it. I mean, he melts down. He goes insane. And if you watch the trailer, it almost looks like a horror film, because it is deep and it's dark and he's yelling, he's losing his mind, but it was so funny to me. So check out Friendship this Thursday. I don't want to give too much away. You know, Tim Robinson, in one scene, he's spiraling out of control and decides to do drugs to see if that'll fix it. And he has one of the funniest drug trips I've ever seen, but in the most mundane way. I love it so much. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
And then I saw my girl gave it 4.5 out of 5, and I got jealous. So this has never happened before. I'm changing my rating live on the air. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Friendship comes out this Thursday. I've seen it mostly, I think, at the Marcus Theaters are going to be playing it.
Okay.
So look for it whenever you can.
All right. And there was one you saw on Thursday at the Alamo Draft House as well, yes?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know what A24 is doing. They love putting out horror films that make you squirm in your seat. So they have this new one that I believe comes out on the 30th of May. It's called Bring Her Back. And if you saw Talk to Me, is that it? Oh, my good. There was this horror film that came out a couple years ago.
That sounds right. Talk to me, yeah.
Where they have this mummified hand. And if you hold the hand just right, you can talk to dead people. And that thing was so scary, so freaky. I mean, it sounds like a simple horror trope, but the way they pulled it off was wonderful. So they went from Talk to Me to this new one, Bring Her Back. I think they only like 3-word titles, these Australian brothers that made it. And this is so disturbing, so disgusting. It's going to be a badge of honor if you survive this. You know how people are bragging about these Terrifier films?
Yeah,
1,
yeah.
2, and 3. Oh my. They are depraved. They're disgusting. And whenever you say, yeah, I watch Terrifier, people think like, oh my goodness, you're sick too. This is along those same lines. I mean, Bring Her Back, you can kind of guess. It involves children who have passed and maybe having the ability to bring them back from the dead. And there's disturbing child abuse and supernatural stuff. It is not a fun watch at all, but it is so well done. You have to give these brothers credit that they were able to convince people to even be in it. And I could see everyone around me squirming in their seat. My girl next to me was covering her eyes when we were watching Bring Her Back at the Alamo Draft House.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm glad that I saw it. So just for pure craft alone, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. But no one, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless you're into seeing sick stuff. If you're into horror films, this one will be, like I said, a badge of honor. You know, let me give you a little bit of premise of it.
Okay.
There is this blind girl who's being bullied, and then her brother comes up, and he's so protective of her, loves her, and they're living with their single father. Their mom left a while ago, and then the father dies, and they get sent to the foster system, and they want to break them up. I mean, you can tell that they love each other very much. This brother and this sister, they're about, like teenagers, like maybe 13 for the blind girl, and then maybe like 16 or 17 for the boy. And they get put with the most messed up foster parent you can think of. I mean, she is gaslighting them. She is abusing them. She's doing stuff to them while they're asleep. And like I said, even me explaining that, I feel creepy that I'm going to recommend it as a 3.5. But if you like being kept awake at night, then maybe check this one out when it comes out on May 30th.
I don't know. I might pass. That might be a little too intense for me.
I mean, A24 was there. The people who are from the studio, and they were filming people's reactions, and they said, okay, after the movie, we want you to come talk to us. Whether you hated it or loved it, we want to hear what
That's
you
smart.
thought. So it sounds like they're going to use the controversy to sell it, too. Even if people hate it, they'll put that on the poster, I bet. Like, worst movie I've ever seen, and they'll use that as a badge of honor themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the A24 people have done some fantastic. They've released a lot of great movies. But that sounds a little too intense. I feel like I've become kind of a big wimp these days when it comes to movies like that, because some stuff I'm like, there's no problem. But I have a hard time with some of the stuff you're talking about.
The actress that you would recognize is Sally Hawkins. She's the one who is just pure evil, and she's from Paddington. I mean, seeing her go from that to being this gaslighting mom who's doing, I don't even want to tell you what some of the stuff she does to these kids. It's incredible to see Sally Hawkins transform. It made me think of other horror films that were in this vein, like Hereditary. That had a mom who went nuts in it as well, and it made me think of her. So I will recommend it if you're a horror junkie.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm that hardcore for it. It might be a little too much for me. Let me go to the chats really quickly. I'm still watching the phone. I'm keeping an eye out for Carl. He's supposed to be on with us. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of you are tuning in specifically to hear from Carl Lumley. We're just waiting to hear from him and get him on the phone. I'm watching on the link to make sure he doesn't pop up with the video link either. But we've got Shannon says, hi, everyone. Shannon always loves Joey's movie reviews. And Shannon's listening from Hawaii. It's 4 p.m. there, and she says she can't miss the show. So
She's
thank
about
you
to
very
catch
much.
a sunset along with some Geek to Me. I like that.
I know, Shannon. That's kind of you. Thank you very much. Paul Hickey, I'm going to save your message, Paul, for Carl. I will tell him. But Paul Hickey says, I still remember Carl's fantastic performance as the title character in the movie Night John. I showed it in my high school English class when I was a teacher. Ryan Cooper listening.
I want to be one of those teachers that just gets to pick movies and to warp kids' minds. Like,
cool.
This is a good one, and then see their reaction. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do it nowadays. I mean, back when he was teaching, I'm sure you could.
What movie would get me canceled? Yeah, I like that thought. Like we're watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
If you're showing Blazing Saddles, that might do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Cooper, the Redhead, and I are listening and very excited for Tours Comic-Con. Thank you very much, Ryan. Lonnie Johnson missed what you said about the Saturday tickets. I just said Saturday tickets are selling gangbusters more than the Friday or the Saturday. We're getting a good mix of weekend passes, but I would say if you're only planning to go on Saturday, buy your ticket now, because we've got a limited amount of tickets just so we don't overcrowd either facility, the Steel Shop or the Foundry. So we're having a ticket cutoff for individual day tickets and kind of watching that number overall. Saturday is going like gangbusters. So if you're thinking about getting a ticket for Saturday, get it now online, because we might not have any availability. Let me try that again. Not have any availability at the door for Saturday tickets if you come in. So get them now. And let's see. I think that catches us up on all of BK on the air says, hey, buddy, listening from Cartersville, Georgia. Hello, BK.
Hey,
always nice to see
How
you there.
Doing?
So yeah, we've got some good chats there. Tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break. We're 20 minutes in. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Hopefully we'll get Carl on the phone. I put out the bat signal, if that even applies to Martian Manhunter. But we're waiting to hear back. I've messaged his manager. I've messaged a mutual friend who knows him. And hopefully we will hear back shortly, and we'll come back and Carl will be with us. If not, we've got Rick Burchett we're going to go to a little early. So hopefully, Rick, if you're listening, get ready. We might go right to you a little earlier than anticipated. But yeah, this is Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. We do it every Sunday night, live with video of Joey B's in studio with me. And otherwise, it's just me on the radio. But I haven't missed a show since 2016. Even if I'm not here, like if I'm at a convention one weekend, I always give you new content. I never do a best of or pre-recorded or anything like that. So hopefully you are all enjoying the content so far. You'll enjoy it more once we get Carl on the phone. So we're going to see if we can reach out again. In the meantime, you're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. Please stand by.
Blasting from the stratosphere! Gotcha!
Launch the Avenger!
The Crusader and Adventure are one top team!
Gear down!
Awesome! Nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero!
Crusader comes with pilot and Avenger.
Yo!
The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, robots in disguise.
Attack the Autobot commander! Call in the Decepticon leader!
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
The Transformers from Hasbro.
Oh, this town's changed.
We switched it around. Now we're playing cops and robbers. You'll be the robber.
Okay.
The new Hot Wheels USA Builder Set. Sheriff Patrol Car and Camaro Z28 sold separately.
It's going up.
You have to put the set together, and you can change it around.
Hey, wasn't there a road here?
Not anymore, Dad.
Hot Wheels USA Builder Set. Not for use with Hot Wheels Hauler. Hot Wheels cars sold separately. New from Mattel.
The Legoland Beta 1 command base. You build it for action. You can pretend the radar sounds an alert, a signal to the crew. So you slide them to the launch pad for a make-believe rescue. And how about the new mobile rocket transport? You can drive it over make-believe craters, then get ready for flight. You can lower the rocket, pretend to fire, and blast it out of sight.
The action's up to you.
The new Legoland mobile rocket transport from the Legoland collection. Legoland Beta 1 command base sold separately from Lego Systems.
Light bright, turn on the magic of colored lights. Light bright, make a face to glow at night. Smiling friends, shining bright, make a sign to say goodnight.
Just pop in the colored pegs and follow the patterns. It's easy to make your favorite pictures and characters, or you can always create your own light pictures.
Light bright, turn on the magic of shining lights.
Light Bright from Milton
Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at julesunhampton.com.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to Geek to Me Radio, heard here every Sunday night on the Big 550 KTRS. I'm your host, James Enstall. I want to make sure we tell you about our premier sponsor, of course, the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. You know them from the website discoverstcharles.com. Fantastic looking website. And they've got the Two Rivers Comic-Con event featured on their website. That's how cool they are. We were just down there the other day. I went down just to kind of walk around and do some last minute little I's dotted, T's crossed kind of things. And it's always so much fun to be down there. I went into the main house on the 500 block. Hadn't been in there for a while, and it was just this past Friday I was there, and all of a sudden here comes this weather and the wind and the rain. Then I'm looking outside and hail's coming down, so I said, well, I might as well hang out here. Great place to pass. It's fun. You go in these shops or these businesses or these restaurants, you don't mind spending half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour or more in these places because it's just, there's nothing like St. Charles. It's the buildings, the people, the atmosphere. It's like you're just stepping back in time when you hit those cobblestone streets. All these little shops and businesses like First Capital Trading Inc. That Randall runs over there. Fantastic place if you want to get your lounge fly or your jelly cats. If you know, jelly cats are a hot thing right now. Or you might want to go get a nice sweatshirt from Cozy Shop, grab some macarons, I cannot talk tonight, macarons from Sugar and Slice, or pop in the main house like I did, wait out a hail and rainstorm, and have an old-fashioned at the bar. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But it's such a great place, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, everyone who has worked with me there to make this con happen, from Elizabeth to Aaron, to Chris, to Ryan, to the people like Pam and Shannon who work at the desk to greet you when you come in. It's just such a fantastic time. And with the weather getting nice, like it has been post-tornado, that stuff that happened, it was a really nice weekend to get out and do one of their Hit the Bricks tours. So if you've not been down there, or maybe you haven't been down there lately, go to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tell them you want to take one of their Hit the Bricks tours. They'll walk you around with a knowledgeable guide, and you get to learn all these cool, fun facts about Main Street in the city of St. Charles. You can check out the website online at, again, DiscoverStCharles.com. That's DiscoverStCharles.com. Whether you're from out of town, whether you're just across the bridge in Alton, maybe you live in Maryland Heights, Webster Groves, and just haven't been to downtown St. Charles, check out the shops, the businesses, the restaurants all up and down the area. It's a fantastic place to visit, whether you're close by or not. And if maybe you are listening from out of town and maybe you haven't made your plans yet on what you're doing or where you're going to stay at Two Rivers Comic Con, which we're hosting there, the website has hotel options. You can do RV parks if you want to drive your RV. You can camp. There's different campsites. And then, of course, there are bed and breakfasts all up and down that area as well. And, of course, great hotel accommodations if you're wanting to be a little more bougie. It's up to you. Check out the website, though. That's where you go to start your trip. DiscoverStCharles.com. That's DiscoverStCharles.com. As we always say, it's an historically good time. We are going to go to the phone lines. We have three-time Eisner Award winner and a good friend, Rick Burchett, who is one of our featured artists at Two Rivers Comic Con. You'll get to meet him. You'll get to bring out all your comic books, and he'll sign them for you. Rick, how are you?
I am fine. So are you having a convention somewhere next weekend?
Yeah, didn't I tell you yet? You're supposed to be there. Oh, gosh, this is awkward.
Well, where is it being held?
It's a historic St. Charles, actually. It's at the Steel Shop and the Foundry. I can text you the directions and the information. Will you be able to make it?
I'm like a guest, huh?
Yeah, you're a guest. Yes, I was hope that was clear. We're not going to make you pay to come in. You're fine. You're set.
Oh, okay. Well, what time do I need to be there?
Well, thank you for asking. The doors open to the public on Friday at 1 p.m., but if you want to get there a little early, since you are a guest, we can get you in early. And I don't know if you've seen these TV spots we've been running, Rick, but have you seen the food that you're going to get to eat in the green room?
No, I have not.
Oh, my gosh. I got to send you a link. Now I'm doubly embarrassed because evidently I didn't tell you about the event or where it is, but I didn't tell you about the food we're going to feed you either. My friend Chef Liz is going to be in charge of the green room, and you're going to get all sorts of fancy foods. I'll send you the link after we get done here, and you can check out all the cool things you're going to have to put in your mouth.
Okay. Well, what's the price list on something like that?
Well, thank you for asking on that as well. The prices, if you go to the website now, and this is only for the next 5 days, because Thursday at noon, the website goes away as far as being able to buy your ticket. So right now, if you just want to come one day and hang out, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, it's $20. If you want to do a 3-day pass and come all 3 days, because there's going to be a lot to do, and you want to pace yourself, take it in over a course of 3 days, then it's $50. So you save $10 by getting a weekend pass.
Okay. Well, my work here is done.
All right. You wrote all that down, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. And, of course, like I said, if you're just now listening, Rick Burchett is an incredibly talented artist, 3-time Eisner Award winner, worked on Batman Adventures, She-Hulk, Justice League Adventures, Black Hawk. I could go on and on, but I love seeing you because I just saw you at Planet Comic Con, and you've got a whole line of commissions, and you're doing blank cover sketches. That seems to be the most popular form of request for a lot of artists lately. People are coming in with the blank covers. Is that mostly what you're getting?
Yeah. People who request sketches now, they bring up the blank covers, and sometimes the title of the book will be the same as the character they asked you to draw. Sometimes not, but I get a lot of that now, and as an artist, you can take those and do as much as you want to on the cover. You can draw backgrounds in and draw stuff up behind the logo and all that stuff. So they can be kind of fun. Now, when they first started doing those, the paper they had on the covers was just awful. And ink wouldn't stick to it. But they have since, changed to a different paper that has more tooth to it, and you can put just about anything on it, watercolor, markers, whatever, and it'll work really well. So yeah, that's mostly what we get.
It's thicker. It's almost, and not quite a cardstock, I guess, but it is thicker than what they used to use. Yeah,
it's like a 1-ply Bristol board. It's nice. It takes color very well. Like I say, it has some tooth to it, so the instruments don't slip right over paper or anything. So, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Now, you've been doing conventions for quite a while because obviously you started working in the industry. What was it, 1990? No, you were before.
1982.
Really? 82. So, yeah, this is when you first started doing conventions, I noticed, like, I went to a convention not that long ago, and I asked an artist to do a commission for me, and he'll, I should be able to do that. I don't think I've done me look it up on his phone. What did you guys do back before you could just Google an image of a character, and they said, hey, I want you to draw Jonah Hex. And if you didn't remember what Jonah Hex looked like, you'd have to either find something. What did you guys do at conventions then?
Well, fortunately, I've been a comics fan my whole life, and I pretty much know what everybody looks like. Now, you're talking about, like, if you get somebody from the Legion of Superheroes, I'm going to need some help with that. Unless it's like one of the first three, and then I'll know what they look like because, I was there then. But, that, and then I kind of cheated later on when I started to get into the animated stuff, and I had this incredible, I don't know even know where I got it, but it was a sheet that had single pictures of almost all the animated characters on it, from both Superman and Batman. So I had that, and I could refer to that. But having the internet on your phone helps immensely because you do get. And as I've gotten older, I don't stay on top of the books as much as I used to. So, there's new characters that I have no idea who they, ask, and sometimes they just ask for weird stuff.
Like what? Like draw She-Hulk, but let me see her feet?
No. One kid asked me to draw something from Minecraft. Now, I kind of knew what Minecraft was, but not in great detail. So I had to look that up. It's, and then sometimes you just get stuff out of it. Like a guy asked me to do a pteranodon one year. Just off the cuff stuff that you never expect to get. And sometimes you get stuff like that is really fun. Like one year at Kansas City, I had a guy ask me to draw Tarzan. Well,
how about that?
That was a thrill. It was like nobody's ever asked me to draw Tarzan. It was just great fun. And then sometimes they ask you to draw things that they think you won't know, which I love that because one guy came up to me one time and said, do you know who Elric is? Now, for those listening who don't know, Elric is a character in books written by fantasy science fiction author Michael Moorcock. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, I've read almost all the Elric books, and he thought he was going to catch me. He said, do you know who Elric is? I said, yes, I do. He said, do you think you could draw him? Thinking he had really caught me. I said, yes, I can. So I drew it. He was amazed. I think he was amazed more than he was excited about getting the drawing. I think it was more like, oh, my God, this old man really knew. So it was, that things like that are fun. But, yeah, I like the ones that are outside of my wheelhouse, things that I don't get asked to draw all the time. That's the fun stuff.
So I got to ask now, what was a pteranodon? Because I'm picturing something in my head. I'm not sure if I've got it right.
I don't even know if I could describe it or not. It's like, I don't know.
When I hear it, pteranodon, it's like a dinosaur. It's the greatest dinosaur, Rick, that any dinosaur has ever been. No dinosaur has been better than a pteranodon. Exactly. A lot of people say it's the best. No?
Yeah, and and one kid came up, he was a young kid, and he came up and goes, can you draw a picture of my turtle? Well, I can draw a picture of a turtle. Right. I don't know if it'll look like your turtle.
No, it's got to be mine.
It got to be your, yeah. So, you just never know. They come in over the transom, and you're just like, oh boy, and you don't want to disappoint them. That's the last thing.
No, of course not.
It's a performance art, and you're playing to an audience of one, and you don't want to disappoint them. And you just, you're hoping that when they come pick it up, they will be surprised and thrilled and happy with what you've given them. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I think I've shown off so many times because I've asked you twice now to do specific cover recreations for me because I am such a Batman fan. I'm such a fan of yours. So I've had you recreate two covers that I love so much about the first Silver Age Scarecrow from Detective 73, except in Batman animated series form. And then most recently, you did a cover swipe of Batman 308, the Jim Aparo when Batman's rising up out of Mr. Freeze's ice trap. And they look so cool. I mean, it's such an amazing thing to do those like on those blank covers. But I've never asked you to, could you please draw my dog? So at least I haven't tried to stump you.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to at least give me the breed of dog.
Right.
Anyway. And then that's, people come up and they say, can you draw anything? And I'll say, well, if I know what it looks like, I can draw it.
Yeah.
If I don't know what it looks like, chances are I won't be able to draw it. So that's the litmus test for me is if I've seen it, I can draw it.
So if the person pulls their turtle out of their pocket and says, this is my turtle, this is Frenchie or whatever the turtle's name is. I don't know why I went with a Grease name. Going back to the chats really quick, we've got Kevin Cerise says it's going to be a good time, referring to Two Rivers Comic Con. Kevin, I agree. I hope so. Rick Burchett, I cannot even, says Liz Henning. Liz, you had Liz wheezing, laughing, asking about all the questions about the Comic Con, Rick. So I'm glad that went over well. Larry Quiggins is very excited to see, he said, it's Rick Burchett, be still my beating heart. And then we have George Haberberger says, Rick knows what Matter Eater Lad looks like. Is that true or false, Rick?
Well, see, George was my roommate in college, and he was also the best man at my wedding.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know if that's like a real question or not, but if I drew a close-up of Matter Eater Lad, I could probably draw him.
Sure.
I think his costume was green, but I'm not sure.
I just remember the picture of him eating those steel bars like he's eating his way out of a cage or something. I was like, gosh, what a weird power to have.
Yeah, it's, there's some of like, Brainiac 5 I could do, Brody I could do, the little globular guy that had.
Bouncing Boy.
Bouncing Boy I could do. Some of the later Monel I could do. But mostly it's the costumes.
Yeah.
That's because they all basically have the same face, different hair.
Yeah. Karate Kid looks a little different from, what was Sun Boy? Was that the right name?
Well, yeah, Sun Boy. Well, kind of, yeah. I guess
that close?
So. Yeah, Sun Boy.
Sun Boy, yeah. There was a Chameleon.
Sun Boy was one of the early Legionnaires.
Yeah. Chameleon Lad, I think, was another one. I couldn't even name them all. There's so many, and they had just such a, I kind of want to be in that pitch meeting between Mort Weisner and whoever else was putting the names out there for those characters. That would have been an interesting. I'll bet Paul Kupperberg could tell us who was there naming all the characters.
Yeah, he definitely could.
We've got Lonnie Johnson in the chats. Jess and I are looking forward to seeing you this weekend. Thank you, Lonnie. I'm looking forward to seeing you both as well at Two Rivers Comic Con. Just making sure I'm not missing anything in the chats. Going back to Joey, I cannot talk tonight. My gosh. Joey V's movie review, talking about the horror movie that he just reviewed. Larry wanted to know, have you seen Road Games? Speaking of horror.
Road Games, my goodness. No, I've not. I'm going to look that up right now. I thought he was going to name some sick, depraved, horror film that everyone's seen, like Basket Case. That one where it's got the twin brother who's almost like a little demon glob that he keeps in a basket and it attacks the women that he sleeps with?
I've no idea what you're talking about either, but now I want to see that just from the premise. But no, Larry says it's an 80s horror featuring Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, my goodness.
Right,
Jamie Lee Curtis is the scream queen.
Course,
I love everything she's in.
Final girl of all time.
All right, producer note here. Road Games is one word. I was not expecting that. And it's free on Tubi, Roku, and Pluto right now.
You know what Joey's watching tonight when he gets home.
Oh, my God. Why is this radio show on? I could be watching movies right now.
Larry says he does love Basket Case, though, by the way. He also says he thinks Jim Shooter named most of those because that was Jim Shooter at a tender age of 15 was sending letters in and getting his first writing job, Rick.
Yes, that's probably true. Early on, I think it was Edmund Hamilton who named the early Legionnaires, but as time went on, Shooter took over and named a lot of them.
Yeah, and I always think of Shooter as Marvel guy. That's my mistake because there was so much crossover. But if you're just now tuning in, we're talking with 3-time Eisner Award-winning artist Rick Burchett. He will be our featured artist at Two Rivers Comic Con. Tickets available online at tworiverscomiccon.com. Rick will sign your stuff for you, and he told me, he said, you know what, I'm not going to charge for a signature, but Rick does ask that you make a donation to the Hero Initiative. Is that still correct?
That is still correct.
And if people are, we just talked about all the,
work.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said they do great work. Hero Initiative.
And I know that we just talked about cover sketches and things like that. If people come by and see you and they want to get a sketch done, how long do you usually require to do the sketches? And what are your price points on sketches? Do you know that right off the top of your head?
Well, as far as time goes, it takes as long as it takes.
Okay.
It just depends on what they ask me. I mean, obviously some characters go quicker than others, like all the animated stuff goes very quick just because I've drawn it. I drew it every day for 15 years. Right. Other things may take a little longer. And the main reason they take longer, and this is going to sound like a cop-out, but the main reason they take longer is coming up with a pose for them to be in. You just don't want them to stand there with their arms at their sides and stuff. You want to have some kind of, like the figures in movement or something, and you want to come up with a cool pose so that, they've got something cool to look at. And as far as price point, I think I'm doing head sketches for the first time ever.
Okay.
Doing head sketches for like $50 and full figures for $100. Bargain basement prices. But it is the first year of Two Rivers, and I thought, well, we'll give the hometown people a break.
Oh, it's fun.
I'm just that kind of guy.
You really are.
Yes, I know. And unfortunately, they will only be in black and white. I used to do color, but color takes too long. And I find myself, if I take in more, if I do black and white, I can take in more sketches. Basically.
Makes sense, yeah.
And I can do more for the weekend, and more people will get sketches.
Yeah.
So that's why I've switched to black and white.
Yeah, makes sense.
The main reason. Also, I don't have to lug around all that equipment. So,
Gotcha.
Helps me, helps them. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and there's other artists there too. I know this goes on at cons because I saw people at Terrific Con up in Connecticut doing this, where they would have one person, like they had Mark Bagley do a drawing for them on a cover, but they would then take it over and have Scott Hanna ink and color it. So that's something people could do if they wanted to collaborate with you and either Rick Leonardi or Keith Williams or whoever else it might be. So
I have done quite a number of sketches where it'll be a jam sketch, what they call a jam sketch, and they will have a big sheet of paper, and every artist at the con will draw a certain character at somewhere on the page. And then they will have a giant mural of all these different characters drawn by different artists. Those things are a great deal of fun. Used to be at San Diego, the graffiti designs would hold a party on the last night of the con, and they would have paper tablecloths, and they would sit out tubs of crayons on each table, and you get a room full of cartoonists and white paper and crayons, and they sit there and talk, and they end up having all of these tablecloths with all these great sketches on them.
Man.
And then graffiti designs would take them and auction them off for charity.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. And some guys would get carried away and draw all over these tables. I mean, just huge things. And other people would just put little sketches in the corner or something. But it was a pretty neat thing, and they'd sit there and guys would be drinking beer and stuff, and they'd get carried away, and they'd draw all kinds of things. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of these days I got to make it out to San Diego Comic-Con. I've done neither of the two big ones, San Diego or New York, and I need to rectify that at some point and get out there and check out the one of the two coasts. Dip my toe in because I'm a little. It's weird. It sounds weird to say with all the stuff I do, but I just got a little pinch of agoraphobia, and I think those large crowds plus being overwhelmed because the stuff I go when I'm there, I'm trying to, get some interviews with some people and things like that, and I almost feel like it'd be overwhelming. So
it is. It's overwhelming. The last time I was there, just to give you some idea, on the dealer's floor, I was walking around all the crowds and everything, and they had a full-sized X-Wing fighter on the floor, and
wow.
You didn't see it until you got right on top of it. It was just, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's an X-Wing. Oh my God. So, and I'm sure that this is a number of years ago, so I'm sure that it is even more overwhelming now.
Gosh, I can imagine.
I got to meet a lot of great people at San Diego the 3 years I've gone. I'm so lucky, some of the people I got to meet. So it was worthwhile for me.
Yeah. Yeah, in the chats, Kimmy Kidd, hello, Kimmy Kidd. She says, I always wanted to be Storm. She can be Storm. I think, they're talking about having Cynthia and Revo cast. I think they should just cast Kimmy Kidd, just me personally. But Kimmy says, I'm sorry I'm going to miss the Two Rivers Comic Con. She wishes us all the best. Thank you, Kimmy. Because she could pull off some Storm cosplay at the Comic Con, even if she's coming to that. And we are doing cosplay contests, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. And we did get some questions about that. Kids are birth to 12 years. If you want to enter the kids cosplay contest, after 12 years, we're doing full-on Elizabethan era rules. You're an adult starting at 12, and you are thrown into the adult cosplay contest. We might try to mix it up. This is our first year, so we're going to see how things go. We'll probably change some stuff year two, but that's the rules for the first year. So, come in your best cosplay if you're listening. We'd love to see you show up as Storm or as Jean Grey or as Chameleon Boy from Legion of Superheroes. Rick, you said you're dressing up as Mon-El, didn't you?
No. I said I was dressing up as Art Carney.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work because someone else said they're coming as Jackie Gleason, so that'll be great.
Yes, Ed Norton. I'll be Ed Norton.
Okay.
So you'll know me when you see me.
Perfect. Tell you what, we're going to take a very quick commercial break. So we can get this last thing out of the way. We're going to have Rick stick with us for just a moment. You're listening to Geek Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. We're still hoping Carl will call in here at the last minute, but we'll get him on as soon as we do. Stick around. We'll talk to you in just 1 minute.
Where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
The Micro Machine Man here, presenting the genuine, original, colossally collectible, most midget miniature replicas of the real things. Micro Machines. Dramatically detailed, stupendously styled, smaller than a nut, this one or this one. And now with a totally terrific town. The new Micro Machine Super City Toolbox playset. Closed, it's a mild manner toolbox. Open, it's a Micro Machine USA. Cruise your mini Micro Machine vehicles, planes, and boats to the police station, the marina, the mini motorcycle repair shop, the gas station, the construction office, work, the real working drawbridge, highway, passenger ramp, and garage doors. Or take a Micro Machine flying machine in for a landing. Phew, this place has it all. The new Micro Machine Super City Toolbox playset from Galoob. The one and only outrageous original miniatures. Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real.
It's Wampa Cave. Luke's inside. We better get him out. Arg, arg!
Wampa!
Introducing Hoth World. 3 playsets in 1. New from Star Wars Micro Collection line. 19 die-cast figures in action.
Every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Hi, everybody. This is Maria Canals Barrera. I voice Talk Girl on the Justice League, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Closing in on the last part of the show, I'm so embarrassed that we didn't get Carl. I feel bad. Like I said, I hope nothing's wrong. Hopefully he is perfectly fine and just forgot. That's fine as long as nothing's went wrong. Hopefully he's okay because he's supposed to be here next weekend too. But so yeah, he'll make up for it next weekend by seeing all of you, letting you see his smiling face, sign autographs, take selfies with you. So make sure you mark down Two Rivers Comic Con for next weekend. We're excited to be bringing that to you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure we tell you about our comic book sponsor, Bugs Comics and Games. Tell you what, we've got a lot of heavy hitters coming here for this con. In addition to Rick Burchett, we've also got Rick Leonardi, we've got Keith Williams. We've got Chuck Patton. We've got Andy Parks. We've got Phil Hester. We've got Roy Thomas. We've got David Michelini. And we've got Mark Bagley. So that's a lot of comic book talent. If you're thinking, boy, I got to find out if I have some stuff for them to sign. Well, you're in luck. Go to Bugs Comics and Games on Bryan Road in O'Fallon, Missouri. I was just in there last week, and he told me he just picked up a bunch of Spider-Man comics that David Michelini wrote. He wrote the first appearance of Venom. He wrote the first appearance of Carnage. He wrote some earlier issues as well, but that was kind of like that full run there. So he was working with Todd McFarlane. He was working with Eric Larson. Of course, he worked with Mark Bagley. So you can bring your Amazing Spider-Man 361 in and get it double signed by Mark Bagley and David Michelini. How cool would that be? If you're just looking for comic books, maybe you're thinking, well, I don't need anything for anyone to sign, but gosh, this Thunderbolts movie was really cool. Where do I find out more about these people? Talk to Larry at Bugs Comics. He's the owner. He knows a ton about comic books. He's the one who, in the chats just now, was saying, actually, it was Jim Shooter named the Legion of Superheroes. I didn't know, but Larry did, because he's very knowledgeable. He's got the brick and mortar store there on Bryan Road in O'Fallon, Missouri. If you're from outside the listening area, check him out on Facebook.com/BugsComics and A&D Games. Follow him on Instagram as well. He'll put stuff up on Instagram that he's got, and he say, hey, we've got these. They're for sale. Some of the stuff is harder to find, like that new one that just came out, Battle Cats from the Invincible universe. He had a bunch of those. Evidently, a lot of people in the St. Louis area didn't order as many. Luckily, Larry kind of said, I think this is kind of a thing. And so he ordered more. So if you missed that one, go see if he's got some left out there at his store, or you can get them on Instagram because he posted them there. Just say, hey, I want one of these. If you still have it, he'll send you a PayPal invoice. You pay the invoice. He ships the Battle Cats #1 right to your door. It's like having your own local comic book shop online. Join the Avengers Club while you're there to save some money on your new issues, your back issues, your toys, your games, whatever it is you're picking up. Might as well save some money in this economy. We're all trying to save a little bit of money here and there. And that's a great way to do it, by joining the Avengers Club. He's very knowledgeable. Like I said, he's kind of like part comic concierge, part comic book whisperer, because he'll tell you exactly the books you need to know. If you want to know, hey, this Spider-Man story, I kind of remember where he got these extra arms. Oh, that's this. He'll give you the Spider-Man comics. Say, these are what you want. Here are the ones you want to get. Do you want this what if issue where it says what if he'd kept the arms? All that kind of fun stuff. Bugs Comics and Games on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're in the greater St. Louis, St. Charles area, check him out at his store on Bryan Road. Bugs Comics and Games. Very proud to have them as the official comic book sponsor here on Geek to Me Radio. And we're talking with Rick Burchett, three-time Eisner Award winner. Obviously, he knows something about comic books as well. I know we talked before, and you're a big Captain America fan. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. When I was growing up, Cap was my guy. I mean, yeah, he was my favorite.
So I don't know if we've had a chance to talk since the movie came out. Did you end up getting out? Because I know you just had some work done on your adamantium spine. Did you get out and get the chance to see the new movie?
I saw the new movie. I also saw Thunderbolts. So I'm just about caught up on my Marvel movies.
Good.
Yeah, I liked Thunderbolts quite a bit. I thought it was funny and a great setup for what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
The Captain America movie was entertaining, and as usual, it was, put together very nice, and I had no problems with it at all. Of course, I'm not a seasoned movie reviewer like you and Joey, but I enjoyed it, and for me, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
When I go in and I sit down, do I have fun for 2 hours or whatever? And I try to say, well, what were they trying to do with this movie, and did they succeed? So, I'm a pretty easy reviewer, I think.
Yeah, and that's what movies should be. You should be able to go and have fun. I know the new Superman trailer dropped recently, and there are people who are, well, I can't believe he did this, and Guy Gardner's ring doesn't quite work that way. Go have some fun at the movie. If you want to pick it apart, if you're like reviewing it, that's fine. Yeah. But just be quiet, let people have their fun. I always try, even if I don't like a movie, you'll be able to tell because I usually don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because there's enough negativity out there. And I know that people get a lot of clicks from hating on stuff. But what's the fun in that? Dan Reba is in the chats. Dan Reba says, see you all next weekend. Because as I mentioned at the beginning of the hour, Dan Reba will also be joining us, and he'll be on stage on Sunday with the Justice League for that final Justice League panel. The last panel on Sunday is our 4 Justice League actors and Dan Reba talking all things Justice League. So make sure, if you're only going to get one day, I'd say get a Sunday ticket, because you'll probably have a little more access and you'll be able to catch that incredible panel with those people. So Dan, we appreciate you coming in. Thanks very much for coming in for this event. Shannon says, go see Larry.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dan's a fantastic guy, because I know you met him at Planet Comic-Con a couple of years.
I met Dan a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he is a great guy, and he actually has directed some of the best animated episodes.
Yes,
I was
he
just
has.
going through, looking at some stuff recently, looking at some episodes, just cherry-picking some, not realizing that he had directed them. And so, yeah, Dan's the guy.
Yeah. No, it's when we always love having him on our Justice League podcast that Susan and I do, because he's just super knowledgeable, and it's always great to have Dan on to talk about that kind of thing. We got about 30 seconds left, Rick, before we go. What final knowledge do you want to impart upon the people listening tonight?
I want them all to go to St. Charles next weekend, beginning on Friday. Start your weekend early. Go to the Two Rivers Comic-Con and have fun, because that's what Comic-Cons are for. Just go and have fun.
There you go. And make sure you go see Rick and bring your Batman Adventures, your Black Hawk, your She-Hulk, or whatever else it might be for Rick to sign while you're there. Rick Burchett, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you for designing the poster for Two Rivers Comic-Con and doing that art for us. We appreciate it. We'll see you in just about 5 days.
My pleasure, James. So long.
There he goes. Thank you to everyone who listened tonight. I'm so sorry that we didn't get Carl Lumley on. I'm crushed because I had questions about his new movie. We'll hopefully get him on in the coming weeks. Maybe he'll feel bad and want to make it up to me. We don't know. But thank you to all of you who watched the whole broadcast. I know a lot of you were hoping to see Carl. We'll get him on again soon. Thank you to Joey V for making the show look and sound as good as it does, and thank you for his movie reviews. I grabbed both cameras because I never know which one to show. Thank you to Bugs Comics and Games. Thank you to the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you to all of you who chimed in the chats, and until next week, my friends.
That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, St. Charles. Good night.
The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Thursday night in New Orleans with 3 of the 10 escapees recaptured leads to this allegation from the head of the FBI.